Welcome back, everyone. It is your boy FPL Bisco. We finally, after a month of drought, after a month of pain, after a month of nearlies, after a month of bad luck, we've finally got ourselves a green arrow. Let's just head over to the board, see what we've done well, see how the free hit was a success. So just make sure you like and subscribe. We've got 5 transfers, and I'm using all of them. So let's get to it. Alright, so last week, if you remember, I was just thinking about how I was going to get into Brighton. That was the biggest issue of mine. And 8 points between the two of them. Verbruggen made so many saves. It was just, I wouldn't say bad luck. It was a good finish from Bowen. So, yes, I wanted a clean sheet, and I could only watch the first half because it was really nerve-wracking. I could not take watching that game. They give chances away. So Verbruggen is going to make a lot of saves. They're not impenetrable. They just hang in there. Everybody plays their part. So it was either between Van Hecke and I think Wefer. I picked Van Hecke. He had just reasonable underlying data. His DEFCON stuff was really good, and he ended up getting the assist. So there's a goal threat there. So I think going forward, Van Hecke might just stay in the team. It's someone I'm really I enjoyed watching him. He does contribute. He does well. Liverpool now. I'll talk about both the Liverpool assets, Virgil and Isak. So I just took a risk. I was like, well, I didn't want to ignore such a good game on paper. And that's the same reason I had Bruno Fernandes. Originally, I had triple Man City. I had Doku there, but I had to make a couple adjustments. I emptied out the bench. I didn't need anyone, which of course was another mistake because maybe I would have had Senesi there and got a cheap 8 point, and I had the money for it since Munoz didn't play. So let that be a lesson to you. Don't ignore the bench. But I picked the wrong striker. I just didn't know. If I had known Ekitike was going to start, I would have picked Ekitike. I just thought, well, the way that Liverpool are going on, they have to keep playing Isak until he hits form. If that's the big investment, there's no need to be leaving them on the bench. Little did I know that Slot was willing to scorch the earth and bench everybody. So now Salah's not playing. Isak is getting dud minutes, minutes that mean nothing to anybody, just to kind of see out the game. And then they didn't see out the game and needed to chase the game, and he didn't have enough time to maybe get more chances. I think he did have a shot from outside of the box, which is a bit of nothing. So it could have gone well. I didn't think Leeds were the best defence. I just picked the wrong striker, and I didn't really like the attacking threat. Turned out I was wrong, so maybe Szoboszlai would have been an answer. But the way that my midfield performed, for Bruno scoring, or we'll get to Bruno scoring, Foden getting on the score sheet, Fernandes penalty, goal, assist, that's all you can ask for. And Gordon being on pens, it was just a really good decision making all round. The front line all blanked, but midfield has been holding me up, and I've been saying it's been the theme of my season that it's been all midfield or all strikers. I've never been able to have them match up, and it's not like one feeds the other. It's always been one or the other, which has been quite frustrating. But that was my team's performance. I was quite happy with it. Moving on to next week, I can't really celebrate the free hit. 67 points, finally got a green arrow, which brings me back up to maybe 600k, 650k. All right, it's not exactly where we want to be, but coming into the busy Christmas period, if I make good decisions, I will go far. Now, what I am looking at is another goalkeeper, because I do think that Pope is going to come back soon. So Ramsdale was a good punt. If he starts this week, then I'll keep him in this week. But because I've got the 5 transfers, I'm itchy, and I'm not going to use. If I've got one transfer next week, I'm not going to use it on the goalkeeper because I feel like my team might not be perfect. And versus Wolves, I do want to talk about Wolves, but I just don't know if this is a safe space because I was a fan of Wolves this season, and even watching them play, I feel like they're not a bad team. They're just not a Premier League team, if that makes any sense. They play a decent brand of football. They've got some good players there. I don't know if they need to play a back three. I don't know why they're so persistent with that. I don't know if I watch them enough to know if they are always persistent with it, or they might change in game here and there, but they're just not competitive. I don't think the goalkeeper's great. I don't think they create a lot of chances, but there's something there. It's just a lack of fight. How did that happen? How did Wolves get into the situation where they could go 15 games into a Premier League season without a win? I don't think they're that bad. I don't see where it came from. It does baffle me. It does baffle me that they're as bad as they are. And I don't want to get into a thing where I just target Wolves. But as it is now, just target Wolves. So then it becomes, who do I get? Now, I'm happy with the Arsenal assets that I have for now. I'm happy with Wolves, with Rice and Timber. I don't feel like I need to change it. I'm very tempted to go and get Saka. Very, very tempted because everyone else is a minutes risk. Does Gyökeres get enough goals regularly enough for me to say, okay, I'm going to bring him in my team, not for 1 week, but for the remainder of like at least 3 or 4 weeks. I don't want to have, I've had problems with strikers all season. I don't want to bring him in to be another problem. Marino now has been a very good asset for the last couple of weeks. Let me even find his points actually. Goal and assist versus Brentford, goal versus Chelsea, assist versus Spurs, assist versus Sunderland. And as soon as he started up front, he's been returning. So the last game versus Aston Villa was the only game he didn't return, Mr. Zazone. But is he, now that Gyökeres is back, I feel like this is what I would do, but that doesn't mean that that's what the managers of the club will do. So I've spoken about the psychology of the club in itself is different to what you want. But point being that getting Gyökeres back into fitness might not be the priority of the club. It might just be let's play the best team we have every week. And if that's the case, fine, then maybe they would keep Marino. But maybe they do believe that Gyökeres is best. Havertz is going to come back. So it's very difficult to invest in any other asset. Trossard doesn't play the minutes because he shares the minutes with Martinelli. Is he the best player to bring in? But does it matter? Does Trossard need 90 minutes to score goals? No, he doesn't. And if we look at Trossard's goals this season, goal versus Villa, goal and assist versus Spurs, goal versus Sunderland, assist versus Burnley, goal versus Fulham, and all of these are like, to be fair, he's been getting good minutes actually. So that's 80 minutes versus, like, he's played and started most of these games, but he played 40 minutes versus Aston Villa, so he's come off the bench. So the last 2 games he didn't play at all. So he should be back. So that might not be the worst like asset to pick in the world. Martinelli does score goals. Like, he's still a threat. Like, these players are still a threat. Saka's got his way. He's been returning of recent, to be fair. So let me not ignore him and just kind of dismiss it. 64 points just behind Eze. And because Eze is swapping with Odegaard, like, all of the level of rotation is quite frustrating. Now, an assist versus Villa, a goal versus Brentford, assist versus Chelsea, and nothing versus Spurs, but a goal versus Sunderland. So, and he's got DEFCONs here and there. So it's not a bad, again, that's not even a bad pick. Like, Saka is a bad pick. Just for 10.2 mil, I'm like, oh, versus Wolves, you're going to haul. Like, you're going to really rake it in. Man, the Wake might end up doing the goal scoring. Arsenal have scored 4 and Saka returned nothing. It's very annoying to have that as a 10 mil asset that I'm going to keep. Like, if he's in for the long haul. He won't just be in for Wolves. He'll be in for the next 4 fixtures, which is Everton, Brighton, which are good fixtures. Everton, Brighton, Villa, and Bournemouth. Villa again already, yeah. Villa and Bournemouth. Like, it goes back the other way. So, do I want to keep Saka for those 5 fixtures, or am I happy with it being what it is? With the 5 free transfers, I'm like, what's the best way for me to use all of them? And I really want to use all of them. So the ones that are going to have to go, and Burma will have to go because he's going to AFCON, although I think he's going to come back really quickly. But he's going to play versus Bournemouth this week, so he's not going straight away. So I actually don't have to get rid of him if I can have 3 midfielders that I like. Sar's definitely going to go. I need to make the money up. I don't want Mateta versus City, even though City's backline is not perfect. They could concede, so I don't need to do it, but I want to do it. The Kuiper in this, let me say, revelation that I've had in watching Brighton now, he's playing on the wing. So he played 90 minutes versus Villa, 83 minutes versus Forest. So he's in the starting 11 at the very least, which is good. So maybe he would be. And they've got Sunderland, Arsenal, West Ham and Burnley. So maybe if he keeps his place, then it would be a good asset. But I don't like it. I just don't like it. So I'll have a different midfielder in place of him. That's 4 players, and then I do want another goalkeeper, which means I've been swapping goalkeepers left and right, and that's all 5 transfers like straight away. Who I'm going to use them on, I might have to do another video over the week, but this is what I'm looking at. I know that Fulham's fixtures are coming up are quite good. So if we look at Fulham, Anderson is someone I'll be looking forward to getting into, and I would say because Chukwueze is going, Iwobi is going. Harry Wilson, of course, is an easy one, but Emil Smith-Rowe in this fixture run would be quite good. I don't know if his minutes are perfect, but I know that they'll be better now. He's relatively low owned, like 0.5% owned. And I don't think he's going to be that bad. I think he's been started, he started but the last 2 games. I think Smith-Rowe's going to get more opportunities as the games go on. Scored versus Man City, and they're not a poor attacking team. Yes, with the loss of a few of those players, it might be a bit more difficult. but he's always going to play, and I always think he's going to contribute, but I just don't know how much he will contribute. And Leno might be the goalkeeper for me. So there's Fulham assets for me to look at, and I think that they'll be there because their fixtures are nicest, at least on the fixture difficulty rating chart. Maybe I might have a look at those players, and that will be a good replacement for Sarr. So just as an example, let me just get in Leno from Fulham. Oh, Thiago is definitely going to be in this team. There's no doubt about it. Like, no doubt, there's no need to think. And somehow, some way, Pedro survives again. No matter how much I want to get rid of him, he's always there. But because he's so cheap, I think Thiago will be a good player to bring in at the moment. And I would even like to go double Brentford. Why not? I'm not going to add any more Arsenal assets, which I think I might regret it. I don't know if Rice is going to, depending on how the Champions League fixtures go. If the Champions League goes well, and Rice comes through with no problems, I'll keep him in there. But Timber playing centre back now at the moment, even that is like, it's not the asset that I really want. I just don't want to go triple anything. I don't want to go triple Arsenal, triple Everton, Chelsea. I just want to keep that 2 players max. Speaking of Everton, now Everton defense has been really, really good. Tarkowski, let's have a look at Everton's upcoming fixtures, because I've been sleeping on them, and the head of my league has had triple Everton. He's had all of them. And I was the one that I had Dewsbury Hall for a long period of time and let it go. I was just like, I don't want Dewsbury Hall. I had enough of him after. If we look at the run, because it makes me look like I'm crazy for I benched him. So I had him all through this run. I had him the whole season. So he scored, let's say up until he's got the assist versus Fulham, he was on my bench. He scored versus United, he was on my bench, and then I sold him. I was like, I've just had enough. I felt insulted. Then he scored again versus Newcastle, blank versus Bournemouth, but they kept a clean sheet, and then a goal and an assist versus Nottingham Forest. The fixtures upcoming are not good. So Chelsea, Arsenal, but then Burnley from game week 18. Since he's only 5.1 mil, if I just need to have a midfielder at that price point, I can do that. And yeah, I've got 15.5. So if I wanted to bring in Saka or Bruno, which I do want to do, I think Bruno's done well for me so far, and I want to thank him for repaying me, because I was quite harsh on him at the beginning of the season, but he's done well. He's done like a great job. Bruno G, obviously, what a guy! Like, what a guy! Bruno Guimaraes has been phenomenal, and obviously everyone's golden boy at the moment, Phil Foden. So I've got like quite a lot of options to pick. Do I want to go fully in on one department and just leave the defense as it is, or do I want to get rid of all the players that have been frustrating me so far? The fixtures are still good for Foden, so it's either Foden or Fernandes, and Foden is cheaper, so then I can get myself a nice 6.9 mil midfielder. Let's have a look. Bruno G's right there, look at that. And we're laughing. So these are the potential transfers that I could have, but there's a bit more to do. Maybe Minter's not going away, Ndiaye is going away. I could have Dewsbury Hall and save myself the money, but there's options there. I even hate the team enough that I could go for I could still have 5 transfers and get a minus. I could still want more. I still have to get rid of Pedro. I'm not sure I want to keep Enzo for much longer, and I still might not be happy with Leno for that long. But so far, I think this looks like a reasonable enough team. Do I want to even bring Newcastle versus Sunderland? I might talk about that in another video as well, but that's going to be a big game. I don't think that's going to be a straightforward oh, Newcastle are the bigger team, they're going to win this game. Sunderland have been in the Premier League and they've arrived. So I think this is going to be a really good fixture to look forward to. So on paper, it's like, yes, let's keep our Newcastle assets, but I wouldn't bank on them. And even Van Hecker's got Liverpool. But that's not even a scary fixture anymore. Like, who's going to turn up? So anyway, these are roughly my transfer plans. I know that I'm going to have to use all 5 transfers. I know that. I just know it. So I'm going to do it. Follow me on Instagram. Make sure you like and subscribe and all sorts. So Instagram is where you get like the regular updates of what I'm going to do on a day-to-day basis. But because I'm never really sure. The team that I had last week in the video, I didn't follow through with it. So it does change quite a bit. So make sure you just keep up to date with all the socials, and I'll let you know how things go. See ya.